Hi guys, my name's Connor and welcome to another edition of High Score Gaming's Honest Game Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the 2D side-scrolling puzzle adventure game, Valiant Hearts: The Great War. Now, I played it on PlayStation 4 for this review, but it is also available on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, iOS, and Android. Let's check it out. The game begins in the year 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand has just been assassinated, and in preparation for war, France has begun to deport all German citizens. This includes Karl, who is forcibly separated from his wife Marie, their son Victor, and father-in-law Emile. A few days later, Emile is drafted into the French army in order to fight against the Germans and their allies. While on his way to the front lines, Emile meets Freddy, an American volunteer with the French army. Through his trials and tribulations in the war, Emile learns that Karl is serving under the evil Baron von Dorf, and with the help of new friends like Freddy, Anna the Belgian nurse, and Walt the dog, Emile begins his journey to rescue Karl and reunite him with his wife and son. Though of course, in the Great War, nothing ever goes as planned. The greatest thing about Valiant Hearts is its beauty. The comic book art style is just gorgeous, and when complemented with the wonderful soundtrack, the game manages to do a really good job capturing the atmosphere of World War I. Another high point for the game was its irresistible charm. Little things like characters only using mumbled words when interacting with one another, or giving Walt a belly rub and praising him after he completed a task, really added to the game's charm, and often had me smiling, despite the sometimes dangerous situations I found myself in. The gameplay itself is relatively simple, and by no means is that a bad thing. It's a 2D side-scroller in which you often have to solve puzzles in order to advance. The puzzles are usually not too challenging, but you will have to pay attention and use your brain for some of them. The gameplay between the protagonists is also reasonably varied, allowing for a nice subtle change in playstyle between the levels. As well too, the story does a good job in highlighting instances in which large-scale conflicts affect the individual person. Valiant Hearts turns the Great War into something real and understandable, and as a result, it becomes a very personal journey for the player, since you become emotionally invested with the characters quite fast. In terms of what I didn't like about Valiant Hearts, there are really only two things that stand out. First is the throwing mechanic, which is very clunky and tough to aim with. If you end up aiming the wrong way, it takes forever for the character to turn around and aim towards the correct side of the screen. The second part of the game that I didn't like has to do with the puzzles you have to solve, most of which become repetitive after reaching the half point of the game. The puzzles end up losing their complexity once you realize that it's the same type of puzzle you've solved 2 or 3 times before. For the story, I give Valiant Hearts: The Great War an 8 out of 10. It's a simple, yet heartwarming and intriguing story that gives both the good side and the bad of World War I. The visuals of Valiant Hearts receive a well-deserved 9 out of 10. This game is simply beautiful, and it complements the setting perfectly. In terms of gameplay, I give it a score of 7 out of 10. The side-scrolling puzzle solving is undoubtedly fun, but the clunky throwing mechanism and the sometimes repetitive puzzles prevent the gameplay from receiving an upper-tier score. To get right to the point, yeah, you should play this game. It's awesome. The game's price is only $14.99, and considering the quality of the game you get, it's a great deal. Plus, for PlayStation Plus members, see what I did there? It is free for the rest of March, so make sure you grab it while you still have the chance. Well, we're out of time for now, so this is Connor from High Score Gaming, signing off. See ya!